behind me, I don't know if you could see it, but that mountain all the way back there used to be a volcano. Actually, I believe this whole entire thing used to be a volcano, and about 7,700 years ago, the volcano erupted, and this immense pressure, right, of the volcano eruption, basically after 7,700 years, this is what was left behind. It's Crater Lake. It's actually the deepest lake in America. So what does it mean to be woke? What does it mean to stay woke? So the Buddha says that the definition that he gives for enlightenment is the end of suffering. This is not the complete definition. It doesn't tell you what it is. By a way of negation, it's trying to tell you what it is not. It is not suffering. So enlightenment tends to be, when I say the word enlightenment, it conjures up this like superhuman accomplishment, right? It's like way out of your reach. The only people that can be enlightened are Buddha and Jesus and Gandhi, people like this. But this isn't true. The end of suffering, anybody can get to. And enlightenment and the end of suffering is your natural state of being with oneness. In a state of enlightenment or of being woke, you feel that everything is one. But in order to be pulled towards the spiritual dimension, you first have had to go through a lot of suffering, tons of suffering. And what is suffering? When I think of suffering and going beyond suffering, I always think of Jesus on the cross. And I think that he is such a wonderful symbol of just so much suffering going on, right? When you picture Jesus on the cross. But there's also no resistance to it. He goes beyond the suffering and finds surrendering. He finds salvation through surrenderance, through letting go of what's happening. So suffering, like the volcano eruption of pressure, right, that left behind such a peaceful place thousands of years later, right? The suffering in your life, it's resistance to life itself. Life, like this, is very much like a mirror, the reflection of the mountains and the water, right? Life is very much like a mirror. The more that you resist life, that you don't want this moment, the more that life resists you or pushes on you back. But the more that you yield to life, the more that you surrender to the moment, you surrender to what's going on in your life, the more peace that will come in. This is the deepest lake in America. There's a Bible story that actually talks about two men. One man built this house in the sand. And when the floods came, the house was flooded away. One man dug deep, deep, deep. He dug until he hit the rock, until he hit rock bottom. Then he built his foundation. And from that foundation, when the floods came, he was able to stay. The foundation actually stayed, right? This is somebody who is so focused on the surface layer of things, so focused on the outside, right? And there's no attention to the inside. How are you feeling inside right now? Are you anxious? Is there a little bit tiny unease? Is there any resistance at all to your life situation?
Bitch, you like my vibe? I don't roll with the crew, I roll with the tribe. Called Quest Adventure Time. Finn and Jake spark that fine. Kush in my pocket like air. Having another affair. First like it, then share. Lost myself, don't know where. Who I am is hard to find. Fuck that dude I left behind. Finding the best frame of mind. Sorry if I'm out of line. These chicks party in the zone. Get that snap up on your phone. Walk around looking for dome. Rock and roll, I'm rolling sun. Is I'll let you. That positive flow. Getting high and low. Good vibes where we go. Sun is I'll let you. That positive flow. Getting high and low. Good vibes where we go. Starve the ego, feed the soul. Pass around another bowl. Money from what you sold. Pony boys, then go. Party house for 2 weeks. Info out like WikiLeaks. Walk on rocks like a lot. Jacking weed at the jackpot. Barking trees, that's what we like. Reading you like I'm a side. Kicking it, yes you can. Rush hour like Jackie Chan. With my tribe all night long.